This knife is the Gen 2 SP-43. SP is the Spec Plus line from Ontario Knives, USA. Right, and it is a combat utility blade, a military type design. The steel on this is 5160 high carbon steel. Right, it does have a full flat grind, and you see it is a more pointed drop point. Right, the material over the handle is Kraton rubber, gives an excellent grip. See, it has a nice guard on it and a lanyard hole, and the handle has those deep horizontal grooves for sweat and mud and so forth to drain through, some extra traction. And it does have the epoxy black powder coating, which is a nice high quality coating, both for just durability, a little bit more rust resistance for the high carbon steel. Alright, and here's a close-up of the blade. You can see that nice black powder coat, and there's the thickness. It's not super thick, but it is very fast in the hand. You know, it's meant to be a utility blade, but also capable of hand-to-hand combat. The drop point, I like the drop point design a lot. It does give a lot of strength because there's just more material there than if it was a Bowie, for example. However, by making it more of a pointed drop point, it still retains most of the penetrating ability of, say, a Bowie or a clip point. So yeah, I definitely like the more pointed drop point. And you see, it's a fairly wide blade, nice belly, and the full flat grind. So all in all, those components would make it very good at shearing cuts. Right, meaning, you know, a shearing cut is kind of like cutting a hand off. That would be like a shearing cut. And the wide full flat grinds, very good for that. The handle gives you a lot of security because of that guard. You see the deep finger groove there. This can also act as a thumb ramp there. Has a quillion for the pullout. And all in all, it's about an inch longer than a USMC K-bar. So all in all, it's very light, very impressive military fighting blade. Also, just being a drop point with the full flat grind, it reminds me a lot of the SE and the RC series. You know, the SE6, the SE7, you know, that series of survival blades. Right, now this is not as thick as those blades. Alright, so it is a compromised design. Alright, and it's not as heavy, but it still retains a lot of the outdoor survival and utility uses of those type of blades. And then by making it thinner, they just make it lighter for you to carry and faster in hand. So I understand that is a very good design for combat utility. Alright, and here is the comparison to USMC K-bar. You see, it does have a bit more reach. The blade is definitely wider, gives you a lot more grind area to work with. Right, and you see it's a pointed drop point compared to the clip point, and it is a full flat grind compared to the saber grind. Each of those has its definite pluses and minuses. People would say that the saber grind, having more material, just tends to be stronger, right? And the full flat grind, of course, has its uses, as I said, shearing cuts, and a lot of outdoor survival knives, such as the the SE5, SE7. Those share the full flat grind. A lot of people like it quite a bit. And you have that all-weather Kraton handle. It's much better if it gets wet, right? That's going to be better than the traditional leather, obviously. This is the sheath that it comes with. You see that there? It has this for lashing it to your thigh. And you see it has those the strap system. Right, so it's compatible with web gear. There's a belt loop right there. It has a horizontal retention strap with a button closure. It does make a little bit of noise. All right, so I would recommend modifying it for your needs. All right, and it does have a hard plastic insert Right, and it's not the best sheath. I wish it had a diagonal cross strap for one thing, but that is the sheath that it comes with. All right, and the price tag on this can vary. I saw it today being sold for around $70. Sometimes you can find it cheaper if you shop around. So I think the cheapest would probably be $50 if you're lucky. So between $50 and $70. Still a great price for something that's made in the USA, right, and has a good high carbon steel. So overall, if you are a soldier or you just need a combat utility blade, I would definitely strongly consider the SP-43. It is a compromised design. For example, it's not super heavy or super thick. All right, so if you're looking for a knife that can be a heavy chopper or an ultra hard use outdoor blade, all right, this would not be it. But other than that, as far as a compromised design, it is a very good compromise, because what you get is a very fast and relatively light knife that could still do a lot of good, let's say light and medium hard outdoor tasks. All right, obviously it's not a machete, it's not a heavy hatchet or anything like that, but for what it is, I think it can give you a lot of value for the price. And as far as the combat part, the more pointed drop point will give excellent penetration, and how wide that they have made this blade, once it does go in, it's basically going to displace a lot of tissue. All right, trying not to be too graphic there. Overall, I'd say it's one of my favorite combat utility designs. Hope you enjoyed getting a closer look at this blade. Stay tuned for many more videos. I'm out of here.